Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Dion Ethell. I'm your host for the Keepin' It Real radio show, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team here at Long Realty Studios. So first, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody out there. We really appreciate all you guys listening today and every day. I can't believe 2025 has passed already. So I'm looking for another great year with new guests, maybe some old guests. I was so shocked at how many. If you saw our show just recently, we talked a little bit about the number and volume of people we've had on the show. And it's kind of staggering. You know, when you're doing it every week, you kind of forget about, 52 weeks of the year. That's a lot of people. And when you have 2 or 3 guests, in on a show, just a lot of folks from our community coming out here and talking to us. And I just love being able to expose people to new things and things maybe they didn't know about, or maybe get to know a little deeper about the people behind the businesses, behind the charities, and behind these wonderful, great events that we have right here in town. Now, this show today is a great show with SSVEC. We're going to learn all about what the Cooperative is doing for primarily our youth here in our community. And, they're always giving back, and they have a lot of programs. And I think one of the neat things, too, that you'll learn about is where that money comes from. Because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about where the money might come from. I know even I was thinking, hey, is my electric bill higher because you guys are doing different things in the community? The answer is no. And so I think you'll really get some new insights to this conversation. But you're going to learn about several different programs that they have. And some of these, like their Yes Fair, which is a science fair coming up, that we're going to participate again this year. It's a great opportunity to get together. So shout out to all you businesses who are listening today. I want you to pay close attention to it. Get involved with SSVEC Yes Fair and find out a way that you can sponsor. It's super inexpensive. You can do as little as $150, but I'm going to kind of save that for later, and so that they can kind of drill down and tell you all the good stuff about the Yes Fair and other programs that they're doing. But again, this is a great opportunity to come together as a community, just as we always do, and help our youth become stronger, better, and become good citizens in our community and elsewhere. And they're probably going to, grow up and maybe go on to great things, and we want them to be great citizens. And this is one step towards that. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. Again, this is the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios, right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. And this is the Keepin' It Real radio show. We'll be right back, folks, and we'll get right to the show. I'm just going to get them in the studio right now. We'll be right back.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
All right, welcome this Saturday morning to the Keepin' It Real radio show, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team right here at Long Realty Studios behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. And I am joined by 2 wonderful guests today, and I want to make sure I get their titles correctly. It's Kristen Gray. You are the Community Relations Manager, correct?
Correct, for Sulphur Springs.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Kristen. And then Kate Cox, of course, is our media coordinator.
That's correct.
And they are both from SSVEC. Help me out.
Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Okay. So SSVEC, that's what we all know you guys by. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that you guys do. Now, maybe just rolling back, talk a little bit, just a tad bit about what you guys are, because you're a nonprofit cooperative, right? And so maybe you could describe that a little bit for people who don't know.
So we are a not-for-profit cooperative, meaning that our services are priced so that the profit margin just covers our business expenses, and any profit margins above that we return to the members in the form of member equity.
Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the show. So one of the things that we want to talk about here is some of the passionate youth programs that you guys have. They're really cool. We've been a part of them before, and one of them is the Yes Fair. It's just around the corner. Such a great event. That place was packed last year. It was just so cool to see so many people. I had no idea there would be that many people. I was so glad that we had a seat.
Standing room only, I tell you, every year.
Yeah.
And we're really excited this year, and I'll let Kristen tell you a little bit more about it, but we're going to be moving to a new location.
Okay.
So there will be more seats.
More seating.
More seating.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good.
But I think the cool thing about Yes Fair, which is the Youth Engineering and Science Fair, is that it's for students between 5th grade and 12th grade. And we have this opportunity to reach out to the community, not only for the children and for their teachers, but also for judges.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to come and help judge any one of those age groups, they're more than welcome to register on the website for that. We also have volunteer opportunities. And as you and Sherry know, because the Sherry Ethell Team sponsored an award last year,
right.
Local businesses can sponsor a specific award. And we have award judges who can go around and select an award based on your criteria that meets your criteria, or you can come out like you and Sherry did and check out the projects and see all the cool stuff there is to see and select one that best fits what you're looking for.
It was tough judging. I got to be honest a little bit too. And I'm no scientist. Sherry's the scientist, right? So retired scientist, so it was right up her alley. But I had no gauge on what to expect and everything. But these were sharp kids. These projects, some of them were pretty astounding, and I was pretty impressed with just the depth and the detail that some of these kids put, into these projects. So it's really cool. It was really, really a neat experience, and we were happy to support it. And there were so many others who supported it, also other businesses. So that was great to see too. Kind of local, supporting local. So it's really cool.
It's really exciting to see how the kids are very curious about their world. We've had some amazing projects come out of there based on human psychology. We had a student do a project on microplastics last year because microplastics is the big thing right now. They're finding that it might attribute to Alzheimer's, and it's in everything now.
Yeah.
And it's a huge health concern. And then all of the renewable energy projects are really interesting too, because obviously we're an energy company, so that really speaks to our
your wheelhouse,
our
right? Yeah. Well, it was interesting too. So the reason why we picked who we did was just because Sherry, being the scientist she was, and having worked at national laboratories, some of those places, she really was dialed in on, process kind of and procedure and everything. And she was really impressed, with some of the kids and how they went about forming their hypothesis and, trying to work out the whole science behind it. And she really drilled in on one of them that just did a really outstanding job. And it's funny because you don't know if it's a boy or a girl or anything, really. I mean, not really, because, some names too can be different too, even if you knew the name. So it's just kind of a walk hard until you meet the person. And then honestly, we were, you have these expectations that they're going to be really kind of nerdy little kid and everything, and they turn out they're not. He looked like a rock star, honestly, this kid who we chose. So that was kind of cool. So lots of fun.
One of the new things we rolled out this year for Yes Fair is assisting teachers in their classrooms.
Yeah.
And so I go out to the schools, and upon the teacher's request, I will help train the students on how to put together a project and the steps they need to take to make a project successful.
Yeah.
Or I'll go out and train the teachers, either or both.
Oh, wow.
So the parents, students, or teachers can contact me for assistance.
Okay. So that's good to know, too. It was very well put together. So great job, guys. And both of you guys, kudos to all of the people who were there and helping out in some form or fashion. It was really a good event. So Yes Fair, it's just around the corner. It's always a fun event for local families. So walk us through what's a typical schedule look like? What happens when and where and all that business?
So project registration is due on February 8th. So teachers, keep in mind that you're not registering every student. You are only registering the projects that you are sending to Yes Fair, not your entire student body.
Okay.
The second thing is project check-in date is February 23rd in the afternoon. That is a Monday. February 24th in the morning. And then on February 25th, that will be judging day. So only the high school students are required to be there for judging day interviews in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then Thursday is our public day. That would be February 26th. And so that is open to schools. Usually the schools come, they'll bus the students in to view the projects.
So everybody kind of gets a chance to see what everybody's been working on.
Yep. And then February, the Friday evening, starting at 6:00 is our award ceremony, and we're really excited to have a larger location for award ceremony because last year, of course, it's standing room only.
Yeah, it was really.
So we're
packed.
going to have like double the amount of seating that we had from the previous year. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. So that kind of brings up a subject, So that's obviously new in store for this year. Where's the new location at? Do we know?
It is 4251 Enterprise Way. It's the old telecom building. So we've gone from essentially 2,800 square feet to 16,000 square feet.
Wow, that's gigantic.
We're super excited about that.
Wow. And the other great thing is not only will that be awesome for the awards ceremony, for getting to sit and watch everybody and see these kids, light up when their projects get awards. It's going to make public day a lot more interesting. So we'll be able to spread out the projects a little bit more. You won't be as crowded. You can really get in there and just see what your kids are doing. And we really encourage, schools and homeschool groups and even local businesses to come out and check it out on public day and see what it's all about.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's probably... I remember, from the last kind of setup and everything, it was nice. It was really well put together. But at the same time, there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on around. There's judges. There's all kinds of, there's kids and there's other people and parents and other people who are doing the same thing we were doing. And so it puts a lot of people in the same spot. In fact, there was a couple times where, you kind of got to wait to take a look at a project because there's enough people around it that kind of taking up all the space. So that's kind of cool. That's neat that you'll have it in a bigger space and kind of give some room there for everybody. Now, is there anything different in terms of the actual, show and things like that? Because it is such a large space, is that going to create some different things for you?
One of the main differences for judging is that we're going to really spread out those high school projects so that during the interview process, there will be more focus for the student in the smaller space. Interviewing that tight space really created some problems. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But also, again, for awards ceremony, we'll be able to accommodate more people. And then for the public day, we're really hoping to bring in a STEM event. So bring in more displays, more live displays, more scientific displays from the community and from the scientific community. Maybe even in Arizona, we could reach out to the University of Arizona for that too.
Okay.
And Cochise College.
Oh, that'll be kind of neat.
So
yeah,
that'll be cool.
Yeah. No, it was really cool, and we really enjoyed being there. And it was so fun seeing just the creativity with the projects. I mean, everybody took a different kind of spin. Some people built things, wrote things. There were some that had very detailed journals. There were some very interesting ways to depict illustrate or to have different kinds of pictures of what what you did and what steps you took. And I just thought that was kind of neat that the actual kids came up with those things. Now, what kind of projects were some of your favorites? I know some of mine. I like that. There was a couple of things. There were some robotics and stuff that were in there. And one of them, gosh, I'm trying to think of what it was exactly, but it was for the blind also. And that was kind of neat. There was just some really deep thought into some of those. What were some of you guys'?
What were the top two projects that we had last year that ended up getting to go to International Science and Engineering Fair?
One of them was the Blind Project,
Right.
which created a vest to assist blind people navigate through the environment. It would basically send a pulse if someone was getting too close to an object.
Yeah.
And then the second project was a project about a hall pass system for schools. It was a digital computer program that they had generated to assist with the hall pass system. So both of those, very, very cool. Some of the projects that really speak to me is, of course, renewable energy. We had quite a few projects last year about food and nutrition.
Yeah, there really were.
Yep. So that seems to be a popular project and speaks to everybody. We could all pay more attention to what we put in our bodies.
Yeah. Some of it was almost, they got real detailed too into, the cleaning aspects of produce and things like that. And I was thinking, geesh, now I don't want to eat produce. But it was very interesting. Very interesting.
Now I'm splashing all my produce with vinegar before I
Right?
eat.
I know. There were some things in there that I was like, oh boy. Now, for teachers and students who want to compete this year, how do they go about registering and getting their projects in? What was that?
They're going to go to yesfair.com. And
Okay.
it's on that very first page. They'll just click on enter the site. They'll go to the very first page, and just a little bit down is all the registration information. Deadline again is February 8th to get all the projects registered. Generally, the schools will have their own science fair project at the school level first, and then they'll pick their winners to go on to Yes Fair, because there is a project limit for grades 5 through 8. So schools, they have a project limit based on their student population, and all that information is there as well. Grades 9 through 12 do not have a project limit.
Okay, very good. So I got to take a break. We'll take a break. We'll come right back, and I got a couple more questions about Yes For before we move on to our next topic. We'll be right back, folks, with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree for military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
It's the Home Spotlight Series, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, where home stories are told until they're sold.
Welcome to 434 Meadowood in Sierra Vista's Vista View Resort, a charming 2-bedroom, 2-bath home with office and den, offering 1,408 square feet of thoughtful updates and move-in ready comfort. Enjoy an open living layout with the kitchen, dining, and living space together, a spacious kitchen with Corian counters, double oven, and stainless appliances, plus updated tile floors and baths. You'll appreciate the newer HVAC system replaced in 2024 and a well-maintained flat roof for peace of mind. This premium lot backs to a green space for privacy, desert views, and a covered patio, perfect for outdoor living. A block wall surrounds the yard and a 2-car garage at convenience. All this within Vista View Resort's gated 55-plus community featuring clubhouse, heated pool and spa, pickleball, trails, a dog park, and an active social calendar. Offered now at just $195,000.
Set up an appointment today. Buy and sell with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. We make success stories for a living.
Okay, welcome back to the Keepin' It Real radio show, brought to you by the team here at Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios. I'm sitting in the studio today talking with SSVEC. I've got the Community Relations Manager, Kristen Gray, and Media Coordinator, Kate Cox, and we're here talking about some of the science fair stuff that we were talking about last year. It's the Yes Fair here locally, but it's much bigger than that. Can you describe a little bit about what are these kids trying to compete? Is it just local? Because when I first got into it, I thought it was just here, but it's actually, they could end up getting to go somewhere else.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the YES Fair stands for Youth Engineering and Science Fair, and it is the only regional science fair south of Tucson that is affiliated with the International Science and Engineering Fair.
Okay.
So that gives our local students more opportunities for regional awards, business community awards, and international awards. In our 912 division, those students at YES Fair are competing for the top spot because our top 2 projects get taken to the International Science and Engineering Fair. So,
And where's that held at?
It rotates every
Okay.
year. It's been in Columbus, Ohio. It's been in Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. So not
it's
just...
been it's been all over the place.
Oh, very cool. And it's not just for participants either. I kind of want to talk about that. Lots of folks in the community are getting involved in this process. We did as well. How can somebody sign up to be a judge, a volunteer, maybe a sponsor like we were last year? How do you do that?
So it's really easy. You go to yesfair.com. Real simple to remember, yesfair.com.
Okay.
And use the drop down. Once you get into the site, use the drop down. You can see information on judges' FAQs, volunteer FAQs, and how to sponsor an award. And as you and Sherry know, like we mentioned earlier, you had the opportunity to sponsor one of the awards. And we have an awards team of judges that can go around and use your criteria and figure out which project best fits your criteria for your award. Or like you and Sherry did, you can come out and check out all the stuff yourself and
it's totally
and pick
worth
that
it.
way, which, Sherry being a former scientist, that I think that was right up her alley.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was kind of neat to see her talk about the individual projects and whatnot. I don't have the science background that she does, but I certainly understand some of it. And it was kind of interesting just to see her kind of light up a little bit, bring back some memories from the old days.
Well, and I think that when you go to the science fair, there's so much talk about the worry of the future, but you look at all the projects and it brings a calm to us old people that are like,
Right.
Okay, we're in good hands.
Right. Yeah. And it really does that. It's great that there's kids conscientious about those kinds of things and thinking outside of the box. And that's so cool to see that, because sometimes, I don't know, I guess as old people, we got to get into the thinking that, gosh, are these kids learning, or are they being creative other than just their phone and their video games and things like that? And the answer is yes at the YES Fair, right?
Yes.
So it's pretty wonderful. Now, if someone's listening and wants to know all the details, where's, again, the best place is that online?
Yesfair.com. Or if you have specific questions, feel free to reach out via email, and that's yesfair@ssvec.com.
Oh, that's easy. Okay. Well, we probably want to mention that one more time before the end of the show. And you can always call us too and ask us about our experience. We had an awesome experience as sponsors and just great opportunity. It doesn't cost a lot, really. I mean,
$150 is what we ask for as a minimum award opportunity.
yeah, that's very inexpensive. Honestly, a lot of the different sponsorships you see, are gold levels 1,000, and it goes on up to platinum at 10,000 or something. And it's not like that. Any kind of local business could really get involved here, and especially if it's kind of up your alley and everything, and connected to what you do, even better. But really, really kind of an opportunity for people to jump in at a pretty low cost. And the kids were super excited. It didn't matter how much they were getting, honestly. Although the bigger awards are pretty cool, to see a kid, walk away with some real money.
And Yes Fair is pretty incredible, because we do, between our sponsors and SSVEC and awards and cash prizes, we give between $30,000 and $50,000 a year.
That's a
Yes
lot.
Fair.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
And our sponsors, we launched a new website this year for YES Fair, and our sponsors are now listed on our website. So they do get some traction there, listed on several pages. So anywhere that the teachers or the students or parents are looking at that site, they see the sponsorships.
Very cool.
And they'll also get a social media post as well. So you'll get a plug on our social media.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, that's the YES Fair, and it's coming up. Again, can you give the date when we're actually going to do the event itself? So I know there's lots of dates leading up to it. Maybe we should just touch base on a few of them again.
Sure. The project check-in is February 23rd and 24th. Judging day, February 25th. Public Day, February 26th.
And anybody can come in that day?
Yes.
And so you can just come in and check it out. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay.
And then Friday, February 27th is the award ceremony in the evening.
Very cool. Very neat. So I know you have some other things we'd like to talk about today, and one of them is the scholarship program. It's an exciting opportunity, and applications are open right now?
Right now. You can go to ssvecyouthprograms.org and find the scholarship application there. It's very important to note that this year we're only accepting online applications. This is the beginning of online applications only.
Okay.
If you're a student who did happen to submit a printed copy, be sure to go ahead and go online and submit an online copy.
Okay, that's important. That's important. So if you're listening out there and you've done that, you got to get that online copy. Now, what's the deadline for that?
March 31st.
31st. So is there any tips on getting those applications then in on time?
Absolutely. You do have to have 2 letters of recommendation for your scholarship application.
Okay.
And when you do your application, you will request those letters of recommendation online.
Now, who are those coming from?
They could come from an employer, a mentor, a teacher, a principal.
Okay.
Someone
pretty broad.
Yeah, pretty broad. Pretty broad. And there's specifications on the application itself as well to kind of guide you.
Okay.
But definitely make sure you plan ahead for that, because you will send a request through the application portal to that person who is going to write you the letter of recommendation. And it's up to them to write it and upload it themselves.
Okay, so you kind of got to keep tabs
time
on that and make sure that they got enough time.
Exactly.
And make sure that they're actually getting that done and can be able to commit to that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you mentioned March 31st is the deadline, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Well, so everybody needs to kind of keep that in mind, and as you're kind of going forward with these applications. Now, what kinds of scholarship amounts are we talking about this year? How much do you typically award?
So typically we award $44,000 scholarships.
Holy moly.
Right?
That's a lot.
And they will get them in two payments. So they'll have 2 payments of $2,000.
Okay.
Is how those will be divvied up.
And is that coincide with anything particular with school or whatever?
Per semester.
Per semester. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And these scholarships, who's eligible? What kinds of programs do they support? Is this college, universities, trade schools, or all of them? Or
the really great thing about SSVEC's scholarship program is that we support colleges, universities, community colleges, certification programs, trade schools.
Oh, really? Certification programs too.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And a certain number of the scholarships are allotted for trade schools themselves for those certification type programs. So you're not competing against people going to university for your scholarship.
Right.
You're competing against others who are interested in that same program.
Yeah, and I only know that because I was listening to a couple of kids talk recently about some different software they were working on. You know, they want to get into tech kind of backgrounds. A couple of them want to go different directions, but one of the things they have to get is these certifications, and they cost money, and be able to find, even find opportunities to be able to get those kinds of scholarships are difficult sometimes.
Absolutely, because a lot of them are merit-based. A lot of them are, focused on college or university type style, right? And Kristen can kind of go into this a little bit more. She's done a wonderful job getting the website updated, and you can see lots of really great information on ssvecyouthprograms.org.
The great thing about the trade school line is, like Kate said, is that you're not competing against the students that are, going for the merit-based because they have a 4.0. We don't even ask for your GPA in either the college or the trade school application. So you don't have to upload your transcripts. We don't want to know what your high school transcripts say. It's going to be more based on your community involvement, your involvement in your school, your drive. If you have an employer that wants to write a letter of recommendation, talking about how interested you are in the particular path, and your work ethic, that's all something that we're looking for with our scholarships.
That's very interesting, because we actually have had, we kind of did a series of different interviews with various educators from across the area here, and some of those were your traditional, schools here, local public schools. Some of them were private schools, and then some of them were alternative schools, which kind of leads me into that kind of broad thinking where, they're not as focused on grades and competing against one another. They're more focused on raising kids up to be good citizens, strong business partners, and to be able to give them an understanding of reality in a way that's a little bit unique and new. So that was kind of cool. That's great that you guys are thinking in that way too, because I think there's a lot of kids who would miss out maybe if they didn't have that opportunity. So that's really, really kind of neat. Now, again, for students who are wanting to learn, where they go to get those details again?
ssvecyouthprograms.org.
Okay. And that'll give you the opportunity to be able to do, your application and everything right there.
Application, it'll give you all the insights that you need for both the trade scholarship application and the college university scholarship application.
And what age groups are these scholarship?
High school seniors.
High school seniors only?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. One other thing we want to talk about, I know it's on your radar here, and we're going to talk about the Washington Youth Tour, but we're going to have to do that right after this break. We'll be right back, folks, with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you.
Their approach? Personalized service, above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation.
You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back. This is Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell, and I'm your host, and this is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team right here at Long Realty Studios. And I'm sitting in the studio today with Kristen Gray, the Community Relations Manager, and Kate Cox, our Media Coordinator for SSVEC. And we've been talking about all kinds of things, really. We talked a little bit about the S Fair. We'll go circle back on that again. So if you're just tuning in and you didn't get a chance to hear about that, we'll definitely come back to that. We were talking about the eligible scholarships. I think you said there was $44,000 scholarships available, and which seniors can be able to apply for those, which is very, very cool. And we'll kind of, again, circle back to that too. But one of the things we touched base on before we kind of ended and came to commercial was Washington Youth Tour. Tell me about that. What's that all about? Who wants to talk about that?
So the Washington Youth Tour is a program that's sponsored again by our SSVEC Foundation, and it is open for high school students who are in the 11th grade.
Okay.
SSVEC believes in leadership and learning about our government, and one of the best ways that we feel that we can encourage leadership and community participation among our youth is to teach them about our nation. And so each year we sponsor between 9 and 15 high school 11th graders to go to Washington, D.C., all expenses paid.
And are these the delegates?
These are the delegates,
okay.
Yes. And in 2026, we have sponsored 14 of them. They will be going to Washington, D.C. in June of 2026.
Okay. Wow, Washington, D.C. And how long do they stay there?
They stay a week.
A week.
And at that time, they visit the monuments, everything from the Washington Monument, the White House, the Capitol Building. They have opportunities to go to the Smithsonian, the Holocaust museums, everything that Washington, D.C. has to offer.
There's so much there. I mean, I worked there for several years at the Ronald Reagan Building or across from the White House. And, of course, I was working all the time, so you don't get a chance to get out. Usually those who are working there don't get to see as much as the people who visit. But there is so much to see. There's just, I mean, you can spend all day in some of these museums, let alone the national monuments and, of course, the White House and some of the other things. And there's so many interesting things to learn about each one of them, very unique things. So now do they get these special tours and whatnot for that, or are they just kind of going around with doing the touristy thing, or how does that work?
We partner with Grand Canyon State Electric Cooperative Association, and they provide buses to get to and from the mall. During the tour. We give our students a little bit of freedom where they get to pick and choose which museums and monuments they're going to go to. Some of them are required, but others, as long as they stay in groups of 3, they can kind of go off.
Oh, wow. You can even break off. Wow.
Yeah, they can break off and do their own thing and choose their path.
Yeah. There's a number of different museums and different interests and whatnot. You like I say, you could spend more than a week easily at just the museums, let alone everything else.
And in addition to the museums, the memorials, they also take courses from the NRECA, the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association. So they get to learn more about what a cooperative is and how cooperatives are, a huge part of living in a rural community.
Yeah, right. Of course, yeah. That makes sense. So, when these past participants, they come back talking about it, what do you think makes it lasting for them? What do you hear when they come back? What are the most significant things that they talk about?
Well, a lot of these kids have never been on a plane before.
What?
A lot of these kids have never left the county or never left the state. And so this is really a grand opportunity for them to broaden their horizons. And imagine your first trip being Washington, D.C.
Right.
That's pretty incredible place to go. And I think a lot of them come back. I would say most of them come back with just huge pride for their country, better understanding of their cooperative, and really, really great appreciation for what they have as an American citizen.
That's great. I love that portion. I remember my brother, he had gone on when we were much younger, of course, but when he was in high school, he had gotten a chance to go do one of those kinds of things and go back to Washington, D.C. And I didn't fully understand it because I had never been to the East Coast actually before I served there. And then getting to go there and serving up there, it is something different, and you really do feel a sense of patriotism just being there. I mean, just being there, seeing the monuments, seeing the references. If you ever get a chance to tour the White House, just even the regular tour is pretty amazing, and it's so much smaller inside than you expect, which is shocking. And a lot of people come back and are like, oh, wow, it looks so gigantic on the outside, but it's really much smaller rooms and everything. So still got a lot of the old architecture and stuff in there. So even though it's been renewed so many times, there's some neat stuff there, and just some neat stories and just little things that you can pick up and learn from tour guides. Some of these people have some really cool stories that they're able to pass on from one person to another. And so I'm sure they come back with some really cool stuff.
They really do. They really do. Another thing that Washington Youth Tour offers is our Youth Leadership Council.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate last year. The Youth Leadership Council representative for Arizona was selected from the SSVEC territory. And this year, again, our Arizona representative is from the SSVEC territory.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
wow.
It's pretty incredible. So we've been working with her on her. She will present a speech.
Oh, wow.
And have the opportunity to present in front of the NRECA conference. Yeah,
that's neat. And how many people will be there?
Oh gosh, thousands.
Wow. So that'll be pretty big. That's kind of a daunting thing for a young person to, for the first time, go out there. Now, are they, used to speaking in front of groups, or, I mean, you come from this little neck of the woods and
they're just regular high school kids.
That's going to be a big thing.
Right. Obviously, some of them have more public speaking experience than others, but Kate is fabulous at coaching for speaking in public. And so our students do great.
That's awesome. That's terrific. And that's a great opportunity, because having spoke at many different places across Washington, D.C. and other places, it just takes practice, and it takes some experience and some tips from great people like yourself, Kate, to be able to kind of get past the fear of talking in front of people. Because you really realize that once you get into it, Everybody puts their pants on just the same way you did in the morning, and we're all very similar, and we all have some of the same things. I still get a little bit nervous, get the butterflies when I go up in front of a group, especially if it's important to me. It even means more. And there's nothing to be afraid of there. It might be a big crowd, but you just kind of focus in on a few people and you're talking to them. And
just imagine everyone wearing their swimsuit, right?
I don't know. I never did that. That's kind of interesting that you say that, because some people say that, oh, imagine people doing this or that. And I usually don't do that, because it's just that I start thinking about that and I can't figure out what I wanted to say. But it is kind of fun to get those experiences, and especially just to speak in Washington, D.C. anyway would be amazing, no matter who you're speaking to. Just being able to have that opportunity, or in front of a big, large group in our nation's capital. So that's kind of cool.
And we're pretty proud of the two young ladies that have had this opportunity. So
yeah.
So we're going to keep our role going. We're going to keep getting the Youth Leadership Council spot every year. That's
fingers crossed.
That's my goal.
Our goal.
Very, very cool.
But it's really nice to see the growth of the students. I mean, public speaking, like anything, it's practice makes perfect.
Yep,
and
100%.
the more you do it, the better you get. Even the students that originally say, well, I can't public speak, or I'm a terrible public speaker, but they do it once and then they do it again. It's like math or writing or any other subject in school. The more you do it, the better you get.
So I was just talking to a friend of mine. We had a Christmas party just recently, and we were talking about different things. And some reason we were talking about public speaking. This person has done a bunch of public speaking as well. Sometimes small groups, sometimes very, very large groups. And we were joking about, once you get comfortable, you can really talk about anything, because it's just a conversation between a bunch of people, and you're the subject matter expert in most cases. You're the person who knows what they're talking about, and so you're just talking about something that you're passionate about, that you know about. And he was joking about how he would get with some interns, and he would actually ask them, give me a word and put this word in there. Whatever it is, as long as it's clean, I'll put it into my speech. And just for you, and then he'd wink at him, when he threw it out there, some crazy word, and they would try to, really throw out some crazy words that were difficult to put into his speech, and he'd still do it. And he said it was so much fun, and it really honestly helps you kind of get over your own fears and stuff, because you're just kind of having fun. It should be fun.
Right.
Public speaking isn't something to be scared about. So
well, in this last year for the Washington Youth Tour Finals, because what the kids have to do is pretty extensive. They take a test, then they have to write an essay. Then if they make it to the next level, they go to the finals, and we have 15 finalists. And one of the opportunities we gave them was, hey, if you'd like to be on the Youth Leadership Council, we'd love for you to present an extemporaneous speech. So they got the speech card. They had 5 minutes to come up with what they wanted to talk about for about a minute and a half, and they did it. And at first, we only had 2 people volunteer.
Oh, wow.
And then we ended up having 13 of them.
Oh, wow. That's
13
awesome.
of them. And I was just so proud of these kids for stepping out of the box and giving it a shot. And gosh darn it, Dion, they did so great.
Yeah, that's cool. That's neat when that happens, and people kind of, inspire other people to get going, even as young kids. And so that's really neat. So let's take a quick break, and then I'm going to circle back, and we'll kind of wrap up, kind of talk on a little bit about some things like you had mentioned earlier, the membership equity and what that does, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and then kind of circle back to some of those due dates and whatnot for the Yes Fair. We'll be right back, folks, with the Keepin' It Real radio show. This is Dion Ethell, and I am with Long Realty Studios right here behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. We'll be right back.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Canyon Country 97.7 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keeping it real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
It's the Home Spotlight Series brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, where home stories are told until they're sold.
Escape to true off-grid living at 1515 South Hidden Valley Road in Bisbee, Arizona. This incredible 3-bedroom, 2124 square foot log cabin rests on over 30 rolling acres with stunning views from every window. The open great room welcomes you to soaring gable ceilings, rustic log beams, beautiful staircase, and warm wood floors. The country kitchen blends vintage charm and modern convenience, complete with a functioning antique stove, propane range, refrigerator, and rich wood cabinetry. Upstairs, you'll find a spacious loft with 3 cozy bed nooks perfect for guests or family. Relax on the front porch, entertain on the massive patio, and enjoy the peace of a fully independent power and water system. Most furnishings are included, making this home ready to enjoy right away. 1515 South Hidden Valley Road in Bisbee, Arizona, all for just $400,000.
Set up an appointment today. Buy and sell with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. We make success stories for a living. All right, welcome back and good morning to everybody out there who's listening today. This is the Keepin' It Real radio show brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team here at Long Realty Studios. I'm joined by some wonderful guests, Kristen Gray, our Community Relations Manager, and Kate Cox, our Media Coordinator, here for SSVEC, our local cooperative, and we're talking about a number of different programs and events that are happening right here locally. You know, our Yes Fair, we talked a little bit about the Washington Youth Tour, we talked about some of your scholarship programs, and we're kind of going to circle back to some of that stuff. I know we've covered a lot, but let's talk about a couple of things. So we covered the Yes Fair coming up soon and the scholarships with that March 31st deadline and the amazing youth tour course. But how is SSVEC able to make those programs happen? I know we talked a little bit about that before the show.
So SSVEC has a foundation, SSVEC Foundation, and those funds that go into the foundation come from expired or unclaimed membership equity.
Wow.
So our membership equity is because we are a not-for-profit organization.
Right.
If our profit margins get above where they need to be to run the business, we give that money back in the form of membership equity to our members.
Okay.
Those are the people that use our services. And so with the membership equity, sometimes people they don't claim them. They have either moved, for whatever reason, we can't locate them.
Yeah.
So in that case, that membership equity dollars are transferred into our SSVEC Foundation, and that is what funds all of these youth programs. It's not funded by your electricity bill. It's not funded by any...
That's a good important thing, because a lot of us always think, I need my electricity bill lowered, and why are we doing youth programs or something, with my money?
Correct.
But that's not the way it works.
That is not the way it works. It is completely funded by unclaimed membership
That's
equity.
Awesome.
In the past, those unclaimed monies would have to be turned over to the state. And being in a rural environment, where does that money stay? It probably stays in Phoenix or Tucson.
Right.
So we, with the foundation, we really support our community education programs. We have, in the last 2 years, we've had grant programs and given money to teachers and educational projects throughout our service territory. Then, of course, we fund the Yes Fair and Washington Youth Tour and scholarships.
Well, out of these youth programs, is there a common thread or a bigger goal that ties them kind of together with the co-op?
I think it's our 7 cooperative principles that all cooperatives are based upon.
Okay.
And one of them is concern for community. And you'll see if you check on any of our media, that's a common thread, not only among our programs, but among what SSVEC does. And that concern for community is about not only just growing our youth, but helping with businesses, helping with teaching ourselves so we can be better stewards to our community, helping educate on what a cooperative is so people can understand, hey, we're a not-for-profit, we're member-owned, we're yours. Like, we are your cooperative. And I think that concern for community just kind of pushes all those together and is a huge part of why we do these youth programs.
I think it's also, it's great that you guys do all that, because it's one of the things we find unique about this area, especially Sierra Vista and the outlying area, Cochise County. And it's just so hyper local, we just feel a sense of pride and community. And there's so many great events and things going on that you can be involved with. like you guys are, open this up. Anybody can come in and check it out. The Yes Fair, for example. It's just great that there's that available, and it really kind of makes you feel like at home.
Right. And I think that's the whole purpose behind a co-op, right? Is that, we are you. We are your neighbors. We are your friends. We are your family.
Yeah.
So-and-so up the street works for the co-op, and we pay our electricity bill just like you do. And,
Did you get a discount?
No.
No.
We get asked that a lot, though.
I'm sure it is.
No.
I actually have heard that. So I was like, I think they get a discount. See, there it is. It's for real. It's not. There's no discount. All right. So we've killed that rumor. Now, what else? You mentioned 7 cooperative principles. What are some of the other kinds of principles that you guys work with?
That we follow?
Yeah.
So in addition to concern for community, there's voluntary and open membership.
Okay.
Which basically means that anybody who is able to use our services and accept the responsibilities of being a member can be a member.
Okay.
Democratic member control. Again, we are your cooperative. And member economic participation, that goes back to that membership equity. Education, training, and information, kind of like I had alluded to a little bit earlier. Education is important not only for our community so that we can become good stewards for our community, but also so that we can be good stewards for our cooperative. And cooperation among cooperatives is another one that, we're all developed for the same reasons, and that's why these 7 cooperative principles are put into play.
That makes sense. And again, we appreciate you guys and coming in and talking about some of these great programs that you guys do, and being able to kind of give back to the community, being part of the community. And I really do appreciate all the information here. And before we circle back, I guess, to some of the things that we've talked about, because I know some people are probably just getting in their car, they're just tuning in and have missed a few things. Before we go, I want to ask you something about these programs. What's taught you over the years about young people in our community? I mean, what have you learned doing these kinds of programs?
Oh, wow. Our young people here are amazing. They're always willing to step up, always willing to participate. For Yes Fair, we have the schools that don't require it as part of their curriculum, and we do have a lot of schools that do require it as part of their curriculum. But even then, they might develop science clubs for those who still want to participate, but it's not core in their school.
I think even though we're in a rural community where you might think that the kids are of a smaller selection, we are still so well-rounded. Yeah. And the children just do such a great job of selecting really neat ideas, thinking outside of the box for Yes Fair. Like I mentioned, for Washington Youth Tour, we gave them the opportunity to step up and give us an extemporaneous speech that they had 5 minutes to prepare for.
They didn't know what that meant?
No, they didn't. But we taught them really fast. That they had 5 minutes to prepare for and give a 1.5 minute speech. And like I said, 13 of the 15.
Oh, they only had 5 minutes?
They only had 5 minutes to prepare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'd never seen the prompt before. Hey, and the majority,
people stood up, right?
The majority of them did, and they did great, and they cheered each other on, and and not just the kids too, but when you see the people who get involved, like our judges from Washington Youth to our judges for Washington or for Yes Fair, they just, you can ask any one of them and they will tell you there is hope for the future.
Right.
Yeah.
And you bring up the judges and volunteers. I'm not sure the community really understands how much manpower it takes to power the Yes Fair. We need on average between 70 to 90 judges every year. Or not judges, but volunteers and or judges. Yeah. Last year, I think we had about 60 judges, plus we had about 20 to 30 volunteers. So we're talking 70, 80, 90 human beings to make the Yes Fair possible. And so the community in general has just been very gracious and willing to help us and help our students.
And anybody can do that. You don't have to be a scientist or anything. You don't have to be a person who works in that field or anything, right?
No. Generally, we find, it's recommended for the grade 5 through 8 science projects. we don't require a college degree or anything to judge in that category.
Right.
Our 9 to 12, some of the projects, I mean, we're not going to ask you for your, your high school GPA. But we, some people just feel naturally more timid about judging at that at that level.
Well, they're pretty advanced. Some of these projects,
they really are.
Got some pretty good depth and deep thought into them. So totally get it. But there's a place for everybody, right? I guess is what we're saying.
Absolutely. There's a place for everybody.
So if somebody is listening today, they just tuned in and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, fair. This is great. I want to be able to help the youth here, and I want to judge, or I want to help, set up or do whatever. How do you do that again? Sponsor an award, yes.
Yeah, or sponsor an award.
Yes.
Go to yesfair.com.
Yesfair.com. Pretty easy. And that's all you have to do. And then you can just click of a button, sign up, and do some things. Fill in a form. Yeah. Okay.
Everything online, real simple.
Okay. So there you heard it. Just get on yesfair.com and you can sign up. You can be, again, somebody who helps out with the judging. You can help out by sponsoring. A local business could sponsor, or can individuals sponsor?
Sure. Yeah, an individual could sponsor
be even
an award.
Individual. Wow.
Right.
So there's not a lot of rules there. You can jump in and help any way you can. Again, remember, this is community helping community. Worthy causes, our youth, great opportunity to support them. So one more time, I think, you had mentioned some due dates and everything. Can we mention those one more time for those people who just tuned in? As far as the Yes Fair goes, what are those due dates?
Sure. The Yes Fair project registration due date is February 8th. Project check-in for the actual fair is the afternoon of February 23rd and the morning of February 24th. Judging is Wednesday, February 25th. Public Day, where the public can come view the events, is February 26th.
February 26th. Put that on your calendar, everybody.
And the award ceremony is the evening of February 27th. That's a Friday.
Super fun. And then as far as those scholarships go, how do people get in on those again?
So you're going to want to go to ssbecyouthprograms.org. And scholarships are open. The applications are open right now, and they are due by the 31st. Make sure you pay attention to your timing, because you will have to get some letters of recommendation in there.
Yeah, I got to give those people enough time. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Chris and Kate, I appreciate you guys coming on, talking a little bit about all the wonderful programs that you guys do and give back to the community. And we're looking forward to the science fair coming up here and excited about it. And I hope you guys who are listening are excited about it too, and get in there and get involved.
Thanks, Dion.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to close it off right there. This is the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm Dion Ethell, and this is Keepin' It Real. We'll be right back.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on this week's Keepin' It Real radio show. As always, we're so grateful to have you spend part of your Saturday morning with us. Whether you're sipping coffee on the porch, out running errands, or out shopping for a home, we appreciate you. If something we said today sparked a question, or if you've got a great topic or guest idea for a future episode, we'd love to hear it. You can drop your suggestion in the Keepin' It Real suggestion box at the front desk of Long Realty, right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or just shoot me an email at sherry@sherryethelteam.com, or call or text me anytime at 717-599-2439. We love hearing from you. It helps us keep this show real, relevant, and rooted in our Cochise County community. We'll be back next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on 97.7 Canyon Country, your first choice for legendary country.
Until then, stay safe, stay kind, and as always, keep it real, Cochise County.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Keepin' It Real radio show. Join us next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.